Royal family, welcome to my channel. My name is Pick a Card Empress, and today we're asking, what's your person's thoughts and feelings for you at this time? Now, don't worry about the little shaking here. I'll put it on the tripod in a bit. I just wanted to give you guys the overhead view of the piles. So for pile one, we have that kind of pink swirl. They're all birches. And this is the Spirit of the Flowers tarot. The second pile is that starfish. And this is the tarot of the golden wheel. Sorry, this is a spring song tarot. And then the third pile is the tarot of the golden wheel. And that heart with whatever it is that's growing in the middle. Okay. So I'm going to be back and I'm going to show you the boxes because sometimes that helps people pick the piles. Okay, I'll see you in a bit. Hey guys, so as promised, I'm going to show you now the boxes. All right, so this is the box for the Spirit of the Flowers Tarot, and this is the brooch. Oh my goodness. Oops. This is the box for the Spring Song, and this is the brooch. And this is the box for the Tarot of the Golden Wheel. And we have this brooch, okay? All right, so do your thing, pick your pile, and I will be back with your reading. Hey, pile one, if you chose this starburst flower, whatever it is, this is going to be your and the Spirit of the Flowers tarot. This is going to be a reading. I think I've only used that deck maybe even once. All right, so let's start this reading as we usually do. We're going to get significators for your person's energy generally with this deck. This is the Wisdom of the Avalon Oracle cards. And this is your person's energy generally. So we use this card as a kind of baseline energy. So we know that when we ask about you, the energy is solely for you and not just some kind of thing that they're projecting to everybody else out there. All right, so the energy generally, baseline energy, control card, the bard, music, poetry, myth, history, the enchantment of storytelling. So this tells me that your person is the energy of creativity. They have been inspired. Perhaps you are their muse. I don't know what it is, but they have been inspired to delve more deeply into their creative energy. Okay, and into the things that make them happy. For some of them, maybe hiking coming through pretty strongly. Maybe they play the guitar. Maybe they write. Okay, maybe they're an environmentalist. Whatever it is, it's about getting out there, and it's about recognizing that there's a higher purpose to whatever gift or talent you have, to put it out to the world because it tells its own story, it inspires, right? So this is where they are at. So if they were very driven before, especially just to succeed in the material world, they are throwing that off, and they are delving into what truly makes me happy. Energy generally. We have a cow, nourishment, abundance, asking and receiving. Yeah, and because they've made this shift, once you make that shift, and especially if you start putting your mission out there and you start living your purpose, spirit takes care of you, the universe takes care of you, and this is what they are enjoying right now. They're enjoying spirit taking care of them. They realize that all that working that they were doing, all that overachieving, all that being ruthless and hustling, it was coming from a place of lack, of not feeling like if they were receiving from the universe. It was a kind of scarcity mindset. But now that they are throwing that off, they're receiving even more abundance and more happiness into their life than they were before. And we have here the water fairy. It says feelings and emotions. Because they've now sunken into their heart space, their truest self, their essence, is just more abundance that's coming into them. Now, they are all in their fields, and this is a big shift for your person because if you look in the back here, I mean, these look like synapses to me, right? So they tell me about the mind, right? So in the background, in the past, they're talking about the mind. So your person very cerebral before, kind of left brain thing going on, but now they're shifting more into the right brain, the creative, the arts, that kind of thing, and just looking at life differently and more willing to expose themselves, and not in a way that's going to get you locked up. Put themselves out there in the world. Okay, they're stepping into this bravery. Right before they were operating from fear, not wanting to be seen, kind of keeping their head down, hoping to fade into the collective of the rat race. But now they're shifting. They're willing to put themselves out there just a little bit more, and to be seen and heard. Put their ideas, their opinions, their art out there, because your art comes from the essence of who you are and what you're feeling at that time. This deck here is the wisdom of the house at night of night. And to me, it is the most dangerous deck in all of tarot. Not just because of the messages, but because the corners of this deck they're so sharp. And maybe your person used to be so sharp and so cutting. You can literally cut your fingers on this deck. And that's why not use this often. It's a lovely deck, but totally inappropriate. I've cut my fingers on it before. Complicated, right? And it's green. This is their heart. So we see that they've been diving more deeper into their heart space. And in their heart space, they have found you. And they have a lot of complicated and maybe even conflicting emotions when it comes to you, right? There's certainly sadness. If you're looking deep into this, you see a teardrop, right? So there's certainly sadness. So it looks like there's been some rough time between you guys, a lot of grief, but at the same time they feel a very psychic and spiritual connection to you, just symbolized by the moon that we're also seeing in the middle there. Certainly a lot of love. We have all that green, and that green getting more expansive. Okay, but sometimes they can feel lost when they're in your presence, like not feel good enough, feel kind of shrinking, and they can really get kind of introverted when they connect with you, right? They feel like you're out of their league. And so let me very carefully shuffle this deck, and maybe they think they have to handle you with kid's gloves as well. We have invisible. Okay, so their energy towards you, they feel invisible. Why do they feel invisible? Because they perceive that there's been a tower moment between you guys. Now, it's a card number 16, right? The tower. Now, in tarot, the tower talks about paradigms being deconstructed. It talks about relationships ending. It talks about the end of a cycle. It's usually a cycle that you've been holding on to, like with a death grip, right? Something that's toxic, something that's not serving you, but you're still holding on to it, and spirit realizes, you know what, we have to send in the assassin because this person is just not learning the lesson. And that's when the tower comes, and it shakes up your whole foundation, it shakes up everything that you are. So it feels like there was a tower moment, or your person perceives there was a tower moment in this relationship, and they are feeling unseen by you. The energy feels like, when you piss off a Scorpio, or you begin to annoy a Taurus, the first thing they will do is tell you nothing. They're silent. And in fact, they can ignore you to the point where you will feel like you're nobody. This is how they feel you are treating them right now. They feel like nobody because they feel like you have turned your back on them completely. You've climbed out of the water, climbed out of your emotions, and that you are not interested in them whatsoever. And they feel like shit. They feel like shit. They feel totally disregarded by you. I don't know what happened. I'm gonna find out. But they feel invisible to you. They feel like you're looking right through them. What? Is somebody else in the room with us? What? I don't see anyone. That's how they feel you're treating them right now. Crickets. Radio silence. That's how they feel you're treating them right now. Like you're ignoring them completely. All right, so we have the Chariot in reverse, and that's the energy of being stuck. Let me see what I write on this card. It says discipline and determination, and it's in reverse. They feel a little broken. Maybe it's cracked open, but they feel broken. Anyways, Spirit, tell us about this cow card. And it is the Page of Swords. And it says exploration and discovery. So because they've stepped back from the hustler lifestyle, they're learning new things. They're in the energy of the beginner's mind, right? Learning afresh, fresh discoveries. They're Dora the Explorer, right? Starting life all over. And Spirit always looks after the innocent. And your person, they've kind of, it's like a kind of return to innocence energy and seeing everything with fresh eyes. So Spirit is taking care of them right now. They're here, the energy of the water fairy, sunken deep into their heart space. We have the King of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, so no longer just going after the paper, right? No longer just going after the material world. They're recognizing there's more to that than life. They're recognizing that there's also everything that water represents: spirit, emotion, flow, right? And that's what they are exploring at this time. So it feels like the energy of a spiritual awakening. Now they feel invisible to you, right? They feel ignored by you. They feel like you've turned your back on them. Why? Nine of Swords. No, Nine of Pentacles. Because you are. Because you have. Right now you're doing you. Nine of Pentacles. You are doing you right now. And maybe they're accustomed to you coming through as kind of codependent energy, always up in them. But, maybe even kind of stalkerish. I don't know how you were before, right? And maybe you've always been there. They've always been able to rely on you being there for them. But now you're like, I'm doing me. And all the energy that used to pump into them, you're now pumping in to yourself. And the Nine of Pentacles is followed by the Ten of Pentacles. You are taking responsibility for your own happiness. You're not relying on them. And because of that, and because you've detached and they're not feeling that bombardment of energy from you, which they were enjoying, right? Because it stroked their ego. They feel like you've left them behind. They feel abandoned by you. And maybe that's something that you had to do to preserve your sanity. All right. When they think about you and they think about this connection, where is that little left brain at? We have the Four of Cups. Now it says here soul searching and reevaluation. But Four of Cups can talk about depression and boredom, like you're feeling lost. And we already kind of gotten that message, right? So we have soul searching. So it's made them sink deep, whatever is happening here. It's making them sink deep into their emotions and really think about their life, their decision making, and where all of this is heading. We have the Five of Swords in reverse. Okay, so it looks like this person, a bit of a gaslighter and like to play a lot of mind games. But you know what? You've exited that matrix. So now they only have mind games to play with themselves. So their mind is running a mile a minute, thinking about the why fors and how fors of what you did or what you're doing um right now. We have the King of Cups. When they think about you, they think about love. Okay. It says harmony and integrity. Um, they view you as someone that is very trustworthy, and someone that is authentic in what they feel. Maybe before you wore your heart on your sleeve, you didn't hide back what you felt from this person. Um, and they may have taken that for granted. But now, because you step back, they're really appreciating that because they never had to wonder what were your motivations or what you're about. You've always told them. You've never really held back, right? And they're appreciating the harmony between you guys. The sense of peace and calm that they feel when they are in your presence. And then we have here divine wisdom and spiritual power in reverse. And they're really seeing how they were kind of very foolish, right? They were foolish. I think they had a lot of fears about you hurting them or whether you were genuine. And it's not because of anything that you did, it's just from what they experienced in their past relationships and in their childhood. Okay? So it feels like they're really nostalgic, and they're really rereading or reevaluating everything that happened between you guys because it feels like they imputed ulterior motives onto you that had nothing to do with what was going on and everything to do with what was happening in their own life and what had happened to them in the past. So everything for them, they were imputing some kind of ulterior motive towards your actions, towards the things that you said. But now they're realizing that was just their own mind sabotaging them and fucking things up. Let's look at their heart space energy for you. Why did I put that deck so far away? 1 second. And maybe that's another thing that they're asking themselves. Why they felt the need to bury their feelings for you so deep. What were they afraid of? And now as they stand there, they're not even sure. I think they regret playing so cool, calm, and collected when they should have shown you that your feelings were reciprocated. So they don't blame you for stepping back because they see now that you had to. But they really blame themselves for just not being more free with their emotions and their love. Heart space energy for you. They feel guilty, okay? And it could be because of things that they said, right? It could have been things that they did because this person felt like you were a threat. This person felt that you were trying to play them, trying to play with their emotions, and they were just on the attack. But now that they're looking at everything, they're looking at the past with objective eyes and not through the eyes and the lens of trauma. they feel really ashamed of the things that they did and the things that they said. I'm still going to pull cards so you can get all the messages. What are they feeling when they think about you? They're curious, right? We want to know what you're up to. Do you have someone else? Are you still interested in them? Do you still want to take this connection forward? They're curious as to what else did they miss about you? Because they were so caught up in defending themselves against you and whatever perceived attack that was only happening in their mind, that they felt like they really missed an opportunity to get to really know who you really were. We have scorn. They feel scorned by you. Absolutely. They feel scorned by you, right? They feel like you just turn your back on them, your nose in the air, and you don't want to hear anything that they have to say. We have euphoria. When they think about you, it's not just sadness either or disappointment in themselves. They also feel, they can feel the happiness because you guys had some good times. There was laughter. There was love. And I also think they underestimated how high you made them feel. Like you were just a dose of sunshine in their life. And it's only when the sun finally sets that they realize just how warm it was. They were busy blocking out the sun. They feel guilty because of what? The chariot in reverse. Yeah, they sabotage this connection. And their defense was the reason why this connection never really got off the ground or moved forward. They may have been with somebody else too. We have the Three of Pentacles here, right? So they could have been a third party here. So they regret getting you involved in that. And Three of Pentacles can also talk about work and all work projects. And remember, we saw that this person was a real go-getter. And I don't think go-getter is the right word, because it was work achievement was almost a kind of addiction with this person. So it feels like they prioritize that instead of you and the relationship. But now that you're gone, you know you never miss the water till the well runs dry. Now is when they want to know you, right? And they might even be peeping at you right now. Now that they feel alone, they can really think about everything. We have contemplation with them. They can even really think about everything that was said, everything that was done, and adopt an energy of curiosity about you. Okay, we have here the Ten of Pentacles. Okay, another Ten of Pentacles card. Stability and attainment. They're seeing you as a prize, and they're trying to figure out how do they get you back into their life. They feel scorned by you. We have the Four of Swords, and it says sanctuary and rest. For a long time, you were their sanctuary, you were their safe place, you were their peace. But they feel like you're off on another adventure. Page of Wands. You're off on another adventure or another romantic relationship, and that you've left them behind. We have Euphoria, King of Swords, logic and justice. Right now that they're really thinking about everything. Remember I told you about the sunshine. They're seeing that you brought so much love, happiness, and hope into their life, and now they're truly missing that. They're really missing that because they're feeling that vacuum, that void, where you used to be. Now, if there's anything that they could say to you right now, if there's anything that they could say to you right now, What would that be? If they could say anything to you right now, what would that be? Now, in the extended, I am going to, if it looks like this person we're tapping into, there might be a third person involved. We're going to look at that relationship, and we're going to basically going to use the same format, and then I will ask Spirit what's going to be your person's next actions towards you within a month of you watching this reading. But in the meantime, here we are. I left you before you can leave me. Now remember all that defense that they were playing, right? It was a way of shutting you out. They didn't want you to get close to them because this person, they have a program that's running in the back of their mind that everybody's going to leave you eventually. Everybody's going to hurt you. And they weren't about to let you in for that to happen. I told you they perceived you as a threat. So they had their shields up. What do they want you to know? My life is not as together as it seems. So your person putting on a brave face, a brave face right now. Maybe they're tongue-tied. They don't even know what to say. Putting on a brave face. But it feels like there's a lot of things because they have gone through this ego death. Everything around them is also dying and transforming. And they're trying to hold it together for the public eye, but their life is in shambles. What else do they want you to know? So they want you to know they are not okay. Sometimes I stay awake thinking about you. So they haven't forgotten about you, as we saw. They have not forgotten about you. They think about you all the time, especially when it's quiet. You know, during the day, they can distract themselves with so many different things and so many different people. But when they're there alone at night, they can't stop the thoughts of you from coming. What else do they want you to know? I knew exactly what I was doing. Yeah, because that was that was their modus operandi. That's what they did to everybody. Shut everybody out because they're afraid of being hurt, and then they will complain about feeling lonely. And that they're in the loneliness epidemic, right? That's what they do. That's what toxic masculinity does. You shut everybody out because you don't want to engage with your emotions, and then you complain about being lonely. Make it make sense. And this has nothing to do with gender. This is about our sex. This is about the energy, okay? It was my fault, but I blamed you. Yeah, they were projecting a lot of stuff onto you. And as I said, imputing all sorts of nefarious motives to everything that you were doing. I mean, maybe you would cook for this person and they would think, okay, you know what? They're trying to trap me, la la la. All kinds of crap, all kinds of crap. The most innocent of gestures would be interpreted through the lens of pain. So they blamed it all on you, but all this was happening internal to them. So if you can join me in extended. Otherwise, let me get some advice from Spirit for you. So whilst this person is having these little epiphanies here about what happened in the past and how they fucked things up, what Spirit's advice here this time? And we have finding the path. You are the driver and the navigator. So maybe for a long time, you were very passive in this relationship because you were waiting for your person to make some sort of decision, make some kind of choice. Maybe you were waiting to be chosen. But Spirit saying, choose yourself. Choose yourself, chart your own course, your own destiny. And if they want to be in your life, they need to play catch up. Keep on trucking. All right, so let's see. We have Fine wine. Longing is the portal to wholeness. Well, there's certainly longing for you. So Spirit is saying that even in this time of, you could be yearning or longing to be back with this person, but that longing can also show you where there might be deficiencies in your own life and your own self-concept, your own self-esteem, and the healing that still needs to be done for you. So let's see, fine wine. Let's see what it says. Because your pain, Spirit saying your pain is a compass. Something is capturing your heart and pulling you close. Is it the presence of the beloved or the feeling of missing love? Sages have written for ages about the transformative potential of longing. They consider longing for love as the medicine for every heart. The pain of the heart is a thread that leads you to heal the sickness of the soul. This card is calling you to follow into the new way of being it in this world. It invites you to say yes to the incredible unfolding and feeling of blossoming. Remember, dear one, that the longing for love is an absolutely necessary part of life. The fire of love increases in the state of longing, while the excitement decreases when we relentlessly remain in the arms of the beloved. Like everything that is created, love has a dual nature, positive and negative, masculine and feminine. The masculine side of love is I love you, and love's feminine quality is I'm waiting for you, I'm longing for you. It is the feminine side of love, the longing for the lover, the cup waiting to be filled, that leads the lover to the beloved. So that longing to be filled is what's going to lead the lover, which is you, to the beloved that's also you. So Spirit is saying that longing that you feel for this other person is also pointing to parts of you that are waiting for your love and attention. It's inviting you to not feel badly. Your longing will soon enrich your life by giving you goals to achieve. You are experiencing a primal pain, the pain of separation. Embrace the suffering and allow it to lead you deeply within yourself. Be assured that it will take you deeper and away from the prison of your limited self to the freedom and wholeness of your divine nature. And the mantra here is, propel me into the divine sweetness of the love of the beloved. Pour the divine wine into me. Fill me and then drink from my lips. Let me glimpse a sweet, wonderful moment of the paradise of love. So Spirit is saying, this feeling of incompleteness that you might be feeling, this feeling of longing, can also point you to the parts of yourself that also still need healing, that also still need love. So whilst your person's trying to figure out what they're going to do and all of that, Spirit is saying, everything that you poured into this person, pour it now into yourself. And we can do that by taking care of ourselves, right? Taking care of our spirit, taking care of our mind, taking care of our body, right? Cooking good food for ourselves, making sure that, our clothes doesn't have holes, that kind of thing, right? Self-care. Self-care, that's how you love yourself. Proper boundaries, not allowing people to take advantage of us, not allowing everybody access into our temple. That's how we take care of ourselves. Okay? All right. So if you're able, join me next time. Otherwise, can I ask you to please subscribe to the channel? Put a comment down below. It can be a full stop. It all helps with the algorithm. And thank you so much for tuning in. Take care. Bye. Oh my goodness, part one. I forgot to mention as well that in the extended, we're going to be tapping into which ancestor wants to come through with a word of advice for you and your connection. So for you, let me see which ancestor will be coming through. This whole book is charts. Spirit response, spirit release. Okay. Family tree charts. Let's see. Let's see which ancestor this is. Okay. And it could be an ancestor that is has it could be an elder, meaning someone that's alive, or it could be an ancestor, someone that's passed on. Okay, so let me find out. So for you, okay, is it on your father's side or your mother's side? It's on your father's side, and we're tapping into a great grandmother, ancestor number 6. So we're gonna see what advice she has for you at the end of the extended reading. Okay, all right, you can go now. Hey, pal, too, if you chose the Spirit Song Tarot and this star, this is going to be your reading. Now, full disclosure, I did a bit of a mess up, right? I don't know what happened. Now, so this is a Spirit Song box, but this is not the Spirit Song deck. For some reason, I mixed up the deck. Even in the cover photo, I realize now I mixed up this deck and the flower tarot. So even though this is a spirit song box, I use the spirit song deck in pile number 1, and now I'm forced to use the flowers deck in pile number 2 with the spirit song box. All right, so it seems like some little mix up there. My discernment was kind of off, and maybe that's what happened with your person in this connection. They mixed up the two energies. Maybe they had options, um, and they weren't paying attention, and they chose the wrong thing. I don't even know how this happened. Anyways, it'll be fine. Everything that happens meant to happen. Okay? And maybe that's the message you need to hear too. Everything that happened was meant to happen. Alright, so we're going to start the reading as we usually do. And remember, we are asking about your person's thoughts and feelings for you at this time. To do that, we are going to get just a little framework context for the reading. And we do that by looking at your person's energy generally as a baseline card, and then their energy towards you, so that we know that the energy that's coming through is specific to you and not what they're feeling about everybody else, okay? Or their general mood. First card underneath the deck is focus. There's definitely a relationship with pile 1 and pile 2, because this focus card came out in another deck, if I'm not mistaken. Came out from another deck. Or it might even be the same deck. No, I think it came out from another deck in that first reading. Alright, so right now your person has on blinders, right? They have a goal in mind. And it is to carve or walk their own path. Now, when you look at this card, okay, there's a path that is properly clear, but then it turns into a kind of dead end. Like their ancestors have only gone so far with their spiritual healing, with their spiritual evolution, or even just with their evolution emotionally. And your person now, they've been tasked with the mission to go beyond what their family members were able to achieve, and how far their family members were able to evolve. So that's what they're focused on doing, to be better and go further than their ancestors. Their energy generally is the raven, and the raven is a messenger, but it says here magic, coincidence, synchronistic events. So your person has gone through a massive transformation. We have the skull here. massive transformation, and they are looking down. So this is the higher perspective. They're looking down on what is happening, unfolding, or what has unfolded before, with the eyes of someone who is in a position of knowing. Because the raven is usually a messenger, right? A messenger of truth, and sometimes a warning, right? A harbinger of danger. So for them to be a messenger, they have to be in the know, right? So your person is in the know, and maybe they're meant to be a messenger to their family members with that first card that we have there. And they are getting more convicted in recognizing that this is their purpose, because they are getting synchronicities from the universe, that tells them that they are on the right path. So whether it's recurring numbers or a lot of fatalistic events that are happening right now with your person, they're convinced more than ever that they are on the right path and that they are doing the right thing. Yeah, that they're on the right path and doing the right thing. So this is someone who is believing in destiny, and divine intervention, because they cannot explain the things that are happening to them and around them any other way. It's no longer coincidence. The energy towards you, we have chaos. All right, it's complicated. I think that also came through for part one as well. They see you as a weapon of mass destruction, like a tornado, right? This is a tool. This is how they see you. All right, they see you as both the Queen of Cups and this tornado. Okay, they're in love with you. They think that you are loving, giving, psychic, very nurturing, but they also recognize that you brought a lot of chaos into their life, right? You've unearthed so many long held beliefs. You've put their life in disarray, turned their life upside down. I think they were firmly cemented in their identity. They thought, this is me, this is who I am. And you're making them question everything. And they feel like you're not done. They feel like to have a relationship with you will be like being always caught up in this storm. Always, things are always changing and shifting, which is life really. But if you're dealing with someone who values stability and predictability, and guarantees, this is a very scary proposition. Somebody might see this as exciting, right? And an adventure. But for someone who values calm and stability and peace, and things remain the way that they are, for them to feel comfy, this could be a very scary thing. Some scary shit. And with that high priestess of water and that chaos, maybe they see us a chaos witch, maybe. Right? Going by your own rules. Renegade. We have a vision of love. We have here Aphrodite. They think that you're a vision of beauty, everything that is good in this world. Because they are now more enlightened and more spiritually focused, they are more able to recognize the divine within you and also your spiritual power. They see you, card number 8, about strength card. They see you as a very powerfully spiritual person. Okay. Incredibly psychic, and I think there's a little bit something scary about that for your person. They're not put off by it at all. I think they are intrigued, but at the same time, they know that they can't get away with the shit that they would usually get away with other partners. Like, and if you don't know, you're soon going to find out. That's what they think. They can't hide anything from you. It means then that they are being called to a higher level of integrity and transparency, and they're not even sure if they're ready for that. Like, they could finesse that for a little while, but can they hold that line? Can they be that person that you expect them to be? I think they have some reservations about that. With that vision card there, because I'm hearing that I had a vision of love song in my head. I think they've also been having dreams and certainly maybe visions in their waking moments of you. So they are convinced that you are the one. I don't think they're in doubt about who you are. I do think maybe in the beginning there was a little mix up because they weren't really tapped in. But now that they're tapped in, they don't have any doubt as to who you are generally and who you are to them, right? They see you as love, Venus, Aphrodite, everything that symbolizes sensuality and fertility and the Empress. They see that within you. So they have no doubt as to who you are to them. It's, can they be the emperor to your Empress? Can they take on that mantle? Okay. And as we talk about, can they be your emperor to your Empress? We have here the Empress in the Emperor in reverse. They're not sure. They're not sure. They're second guessing themselves because this is a big ask. To live a life of integrity. All right, let's see. Spirit tell us about this raven. We have the Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, they're seeing that they don't want to live their life the way that they've been living their life. They're ready for something new. They're ready for something to blossom and unfold in their life here. Spirit of the they're just not sure how to ground it yet. And that's why they're still there perched. We have the King of Pentacles. They want to. For some of them, they may have a lot of other responsibilities as well. So they're kind of thinking about that and how that will be impacted by any decision that they're making. So this is someone, they're being pretty cautious, but it is not without reason, and it's not just because of fear. I think this is someone who does have other obligations or responsibilities. The King of Pentacles is here, right? And he's very responsible, right? And even though he may not prioritize other people's needs before his own, he certainly takes his responsibilities very seriously. He is the father in the tarot. Let's see this vision card. We have Judgment in reverse. Yeah. They misjudged you in the past. They definitely did. Right? It looks like the scales were over their eye, and they feel like they missed out on an opportunity to be with you, to experience a love relationship with you. We have the Ace of Cups in reverse. And then we have here the Hanged Man in reverse. So they want to move forward and take action towards you. But it feels like there is something here that's a source of frustration for them. I think they feel a sense of urgency about what needs to happen. Whatever they get, whatever signals they're getting from you, they're getting that you're no longer waiting and that you've already moved on. So part of them may even think that it might be too late already. So why bother? And for others, they feel frustrated because there might be other things or might be other people that they have to that they have to consider in their decision making. But they believe that they are meant to be with you. Now, let's look at your person's thoughts and feelings for you at this time and this connection. When your person thinks about you and this connection, how are they processing this mentally? We have the Ace of Wands in reverse. So that's the energy of non-action. They're not taking action as yet. And certainly here we're not seeing the action being taken. They're the observer. We see, this is what? Hermit in reverse. They want to take action. We have the Moon in reverse. And that's about, wanting to tell all. They don't want to keep any secrets from you. And we have the Four of Wands in reverse. Okay. All right. So it feels like they're definitely in the energy of non-action. They are just observing at this time. And it's not like they don't want to take action. We see here Hermit in reverse. And Hermit in reverse is coming out of that Hermit mode and going after what you want. Okay? And part of what they want to do in terms of going after what they want is that they want to tell you everything. They don't want there to be secrets between you guys. They want to be as open and as honest as possible. And it feels like part of what they want to tell you is that they may not be able to offer you the commitment that you want and you deserve at this time. We have this Four of Wands in reverse. It's a kind of non-committal energy. Now, this Four of Wands in reverse can also talk about another structure, another relationship, or another contract coming to an end. So there's that could be in the mix, and they want to tell you about that. Let me just pull a card on that. And we have a Queen of Cups. Well, that's you again. The identified Queen of Cups. And again, we have the Emperor in reverse. They don't feel like they can show up for you. Let's ask Spirit why. Spirit, why do they feel like they can't show up for you and can't commit to this relationship? We have a Two of Cups. So it feels like there is another relationship that is in this mix. And it feels like this, it may not be stable. In fact, it might be crumbling right now, which is why we see it in reverse. But it's not at completion. It's not been wrapped up in a nice, pretty bow. So they want to have contact. They want there to be honesty between you guys. They don't want to hide anything from you. And part of that is telling you about what's happening in their life. They may even want to tell you more about their childhood. Because Four of Wands in reverse can't talk about a dysfunctional childhood. So they want you to understand who they are and why they do the things that they do. Right? But it doesn't feel like they can take decisive action to ground this relationship at this time. But they do want to foster more intimacy. And I don't think it's about sex though. More intimacy, more conversation between you guys. That's what they're thinking about. Okay, I can't show up with a relationship or solid offer right now, but I do want to build a foundation that will feed into a solid offer when they are able. This is the message that I'm getting with that. Let's look at their heart space energy for you right now. We have lazy. That's no movement, no energy. All right, let's see. We have anxious. All right, so they're having a bit of anxiety, and I think it centers around possibly losing you with their, well, it could be procrastination, certainly could be that. Um with whatever delay might happen in this connection. And the delay that might be out of their hands. Whatever they're doing, maybe it literally takes time. When they think about you, they think about being free. They think about being independent. They think about being single. They think about being free to love you. And maybe there's something that's taboo about a relationship in the eyes of society, or in the eyes of certain segments of society, right? Or maybe in the eyes of their family members. There might be something taboo about you. So when they think about you and what's in their hearts, but is space is being free to love. Being free to love you, being free to be with you. What else is in their heart space? I'll put cards on it so we'll figure it out. Love. They're in love. Okay? When they think about you and this connection, they are in love. So this is not happening because of any lack of emotion, emotional connection for you, and you certainly made them happy. We have cheerful here. But it feels like there are things in the 3D that they are being challenged by spirit to deal with. It's part of their process. Now they are anxious. Spirit, why are they anxious? We have the Queen of Pentacles. Okay, and the Queen of Pentacles, she is a spouse. She is a wifey. So that's you. Right? What are they afraid of? As I told you, Five of Cups in reverse. They have a lot of regrets, okay? And they feel like if they don't move fast enough, this is going to be a situation of the one that got away. Okay? They're also anxious because for some of you guys, they may have betrayed you in the past, or they may have been a source of your hurt and your grief. They might be concerned that you may not be able to forgive them, or that you may resent them or be bitter to them at this time, because it feels like they may have messed up. Remember, I messed up with the cards. They may have messed up in the past. When they think about you, they think about being free. We have a King of Wands in reverse, and that's someone who is abusive, and that's a karmic energy, right? That's someone that's abusive. But this is also the energy of non-action. They feel like their hands are tied right now. Why? Five of Pentacles in reverse, right? They wish that they could be free because they feel like they have been taken so long that you are going to abandon them, one. And two, they wish that they could be free, but it's also because they feel like they need that their loyalty needs to be placed in another situation at the moment, because they don't want to abandon their responsibilities there. So they feel like either way, people are going to be hurt. That's how they feel. Either way, people are going to be hurt. But there might be people involved that they have 3D obligations to. Whether it's financially, it could be kids, it could be a home, bills, that kind of thing. But they do love you. It's right here. They're in love. Okay? But we have the Ace of Pentacles in reverse, but not in a position to offer you what you deserve and need right now. You certainly made them happy. The sun has come out. Maybe they're hoping that the sun will come out in this relationship tomorrow, but it's not happening today. And you make them so happy. When they think about you, you bring a smile to their face. Look at you. Oh, so cute, right? You bring a smile to this person's face. Bring a lot of joy into their life. They're just concerned whether they can reciprocate that energy and not disappoint you. They're very concerned about disappointing you. Now, if your person could tell you anything right now, what would those messages be? So let's get some 3D messages from a person. Right, what would those messages be? If they could tell you anything right now, what would those messages be? Now, in the extended, we will basically do the same format for the third party. We're going to look at your person's next actions towards you within a month of you watching this reading. And then we're going to ask for a message from the ancestors. And I'm going to tell you at the end of this reading here, this public reading, which ancestor we're going to be tapping into. So I'll do that for you in a bit. But in the meantime, what do they want you to know right now? You don't know how hard it was to let you go. So maybe your person let you go. Maybe your person left you behind. Maybe they chose somebody else. But they want you to know this wasn't a walk in the park for them. Okay, and it's not like they forgot about you. It wasn't easy. I couldn't let you get close to me. Remember I told you, as far as they saw, or maybe even still see, they saw as a weapon of mass destruction. You know, they couldn't contain themselves and maintain their ego identity with you around. You required everything from them. Body, mind, and soul. Money, mind, heart, and soul. Right? And they felt like that was a lot of power to give you, viewer. And with that, you could mash them up. You could destroy them. I'm grateful for the spiritual lesson, right? So know that they are seeing the bigger picture. What we saw that with the raven, right? And they recognize that you guys' encounter was a massive spiritual lesson with many modules, right? And it feels like they have learned that lesson. It feels like they're graduating. It's now figuring out a way to accept the level up. I know I was a distraction from your pain. Okay, so they also know that you too learned a lot through your interaction with this person. And whilst you were able to see beyond their ego identity, they also saw beyond yours. And they know that you love them, but at the same time, you were also using them to run from yourself. I want you. So they definitely want you sexually and otherwise. They want you in their life, but they have to figure out the how. And you don't have to wait whilst they figure out the how. Keep on moving on. Keep on moving on. Okay? All right. I'm going to get you some advice from Spirit, but before I do that, let's see which ancestor we're going to be. Let me get my book. We're going to be tapping. God, that's what I have there. We're going to be tapping into in the extended. These are my book. It's my book of charts. And I have it's a family tree modality that I learned, and they have a chart, so I'm going to use that. Okay, here it is. Okay, so let's see which ancestor is going to be coming through and giving us a message. Spirit, is it on the father side or the mother side? It's on the mother side. And Spirit, could you tell us which ancestor is coming through? We have a great grandfather will be coming through, ancestor number 9, to deliver the message. Great grandfather is who we're going to be tapping into in the extended with a message for you. Okay. All right. What's Spirit's advice? If you're not able to join me in the extended, let me leave you with some advice from Spirit. What's Spirit's advice? We have limitations power. Lean into your limitations. So you might perceive that you are stuck right now or this connection is not moving, but Spirit is saying there's lessons in the stuckness. When we start asking why we're stuck and we tap into some of the fears that we may have, there's a lot of healing that we can get from that. What was I just saying? When we start tapping into the fears that we have, it says face your fears. It says farewell to fear phantoms, okay? So a lot of times when we're stuck is because we're afraid of something. Whether we're afraid of the unknown or we're afraid of losing something or somebody. Spirit saying face your fears. Blah, 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 blah. There it is. You are in the presence of divine kindness and generosity. Allow it to lift you beyond ordinary consciousness. So Spirit saying there's a level up that is available for you too, right? And maybe you've been kind of circling around here instead of rising above. All right? Open your heart to the gift of faith and trust in divine protection. When you become aware of the presence of the divine joy giver within you, you awaken to the spiritual power that is already embedded in your nature and recognize that you have been created for joy that can lift you beyond your limitations. If the world seems like an unfriendly place to you, it may be that you are lost in mundane details. Accept that pain and struggle are part of life in the same way that pleasure and joy are. By doing so, you will lessen the tension of fear and the impact of its force upon you. As Rumi points out, life is not harmful to you. It is your fear that makes phantoms in your mind. Love is a creative power, and you are here to live that truth and experience it in its fullness. Dear one, begin to relax in the assurance that only pure love can give. Feel the divine presence of love in your heart for everything and everyone around you. By doing that, you will cause fear to disappear into the sweetness of surrender. Once you feel this connection, you will begin to realize that it is love that has awakened you. The outer sensations diminish, and you experience the sweetness of bliss and the peace of divine protection. And the mantra here for your healing is, I am removing the idea of failure from my thoughts. I allow the power and courage of love to help me face whatever happens. So sometimes we are stuck because we feel like if we move forward without getting what we want or having not manifested what we want, that we have failed. Or if we move forward, we might fail, right? So there's a lot of fear that keeps us paralyzed. Paralyzed because we're thinking of the what ifs and the different negative permutations, but Spirit saying there are positive permutations that you can also tap into as well, right? So acknowledge your fears, beautiful, wonderful. Thank you. All right, I'll keep myself safe, but also keep in the forefront of your mind that vision of success, that vision of love, and see what happens. Okay? All right, my love. So that was your reading. I hope that was helpful. Take care. Bye. Hey, Pile 3, welcome to your reading. So if you chose this heart with whatever it is that's sprouting up in the middle, and the Tower of the Golden Wheel, this is your reading. Okay, so we will begin as we usually do with a significator for your person's energy generally, and then we will get a significator for the energy towards you specifically. That's so we know that when we come to that significator for you, it's not just what they're feeling for everybody. It's really, really what they're feeling for you. And not part of their general mood. Okay. We have the bee, hardworking, but it says luck, industriousness, and sweet victory. Okay. So your person is working towards some sort of goal and they are busy at it. Okay. I think the wheel of fortune has turned in their favor and they know it. So they are making hay or maybe making nectar whilst the sun shines. All right, so let's see. Whilst they're in the flow of the universe, they're trying to get things done. All right, their energy is death, change. Change is all around them. Okay. It's a card number 46, which reduces to 10. And of course, that is all about big endings. But endings usher in new beginnings. And this is where they're at. So something they've sensed that something in their life is either dead or dying. And with it comes an opportunity to start anew, to start afresh. Okay? And I think, you know what they're reminding me of? Because when I look at this sea image, I'm reminded of something that's done in my culture. So in my culture, if you go down by the beach, like early in the morning, like 6 o'clock, like dawn is just breaking, you will see a lot of older persons bathing the beach, tapping the head, whatever it is. And if you ask them, they'll say they're washing away the blight from the night before, right? And the reason why they do it at that hour is they believe that the sea is purging itself and beginning anew, right? So this is the same energy that I'm feeling with this card. Your person's recognizing that there's a purge and they want to work with the tide. They want to work with the tide. Okay? So that is where they're at. They're seizing an opportunity. You know, vibratory wise, they're aware that there's a shift that's happening, a change that's happening, and they're moving with the energies of that shift. Right? Instead of swimming against the tide like the salmon, they're gonna go with the flow. Right? With the jet stream and see where it takes them. The energy towards you. We have meditation. And it's a card number 25, which reduces to 7. And 7 is moving that forward. And I'm recording this just after that 777 portal that we would have had on Monday. So I'm recording this on the 11th. Not all readings are timeless, so don't worry about that. But the fact that we're doing it in the energies of the 7-7 portal, it means that your person, they're trying to figure out a way forward, how to move this connection along. And it says here meditation, so it's something that they're thinking about, something that they're opening up themselves to receiving messages about, and they may even be reaching out to you in the 5D in order to make contact. The energy towards you. We have invisible. I think this came off a pile 1, if I'm not mistaken. And it's a card number 16, the Tower. They think that this connection is over, right? And it could be that that death energy that they're feeling in their own life, it's also happening in your connection, and they feel it. But what they recognize, and 16 reduces 7, so another 7 here again. What they realize as well, that this ending, whatever ending that's happening here, or maybe it could be the end of a cycle in your relationship. This ending is providing them with the opportunity to begin afresh. And they're also recognizing that there are invisible forces that are working towards getting you guys to move in a particular direction. Now, they feel like they've been made invisible by you. They feel like you are not interested, right? You're here, you are seeing about yourself. There's almost a reflection that's going on here. So you're focused on your healing, you're focused on what's been mirrored back to you through this connection, through other people in your life, and they feel neglected. They might as well be invisible because you're not giving them any attention. That's how they feel. They might as well be invisible. You're doing you. And they're not feeling your energy on them at all. Let's pull some cards in these and let's see what we get. Seven of Pentacles. Okay. And when we're in the Seven of Pentacles, we are evaluating the places that we've invested our time, effort, and energy. And we're looking to see where our next set of investment should be. So if we didn't get return on the last investment, we're not going to plant there again. Okay. We're going to look for new fields to plow. And this is exactly where a person's at. It's the energy of evaluating what has gone before and what needs to happen right now. Spirit, tell us about this death energy. We have Temperance in reverse. This is karma. This is a karmic return, okay? Because Temperance is a card of karma. It's a card of balance. And when it's in reverse, it's you learning a very harsh lesson. It's things going topsy-turvy. Everything going awry. Your life being turned upside down to shake you out of a pattern that you've been entrenched in for a long time, that you're being stubborn about. So a person feels it and they know they can't turn back this tide, so might as well flow with it. Now, showing up is a Queen of Swords in reverse. Now, this Queen of Swords in reverse could be a third party, or it could be the energy that your person has been entrenched in, that spirit is trying to shake them out of. Maybe the karmic cycle that they've been in is not being authentic, or not speaking up for yourself, not standing up for your truth, hiding yourself away, hiding your truth, telling lies to yourself, false narratives, whatever it is. This could be what is ending in your person's life. It could even be that what's ending in your person's life is them being inconsistent. Maybe they were inconsistent. Couldn't depend on this person at all, right? Very wishy-washy, right? Very unpredictable, irrational, Temperance in reverse, right? All this is ending as your person embraces their healing journey. Now, they feel scorned, okay? They feel scorned. They might as well be invisible because you are not paying attention to them at all. And they're here in the energy of grief. I mean, even this person that we see here, that's the usual posture of the Five of Cups, head down. And there's this old song that's coming. I've been standing around with my head hanging down, and I wonder who's loving you. Well, your person's wondering who's loving you right now, because you're certainly not loving them. You're certainly not loving them. So and I wonder who's loving you. And they think that there's somebody else here. They think that somebody else here, but they also think that they deserve whatever they get because they didn't treat you right. They didn't treat you right. I know that all, so it takes two to make the things all right, or whatever it is. Yeah, they realize they didn't treat you right. They sure didn't. They did not treat you right. All right, so when they think about you and they think about this connection, what's happening in the headspace? King of Cups. Well, they're here in the energy of Scorpio. Feeling a lot, saying nothing. Okay. This is also the energy of kind of watching and waiting. Kind of a little stalker vibe. But it is love. It is love. It is wanting to express your love in a very mature way. So when they think about you, they think about their love interest. What else are they thinking about? Queen of Pentacles. And the Queen of Pentacles, she's often called the wifey because not only is she industrious and is very successful in the material world, which speaks to her masculine side, but she's also very nurturing and loving, which speaks to her feminine side. So she is the most Empress-like queen because of that, right? She's everything. She's absolutely balanced. And this is how your person sees you. They see that, you have conquered the material world. You have conquered the spiritual world, right? You're nurturing, loving, you're emotionally balanced, you're emotionally mature. They see all of that. This person thinks that you are the complete package. And that's why they sit and they watch you in awe and can sometimes feel intimidated by you because, you're a class act. You're a class act. There's you give so much and they know that you expect the same in return. What else are they thinking about? Knight of Wands in reverse. So all that fuckboy thing that they were doing before, they know that that's over. You can't approach the Queen of Pentacles with any kind of fuckboy energy, right? She sees right through that and she will send you packing. She will send you packing. And the Queen of Pentacles, she's often associated with Capricorn. And if you get on a Capricorn's wrong side, they will teach you a very harsh lesson. That's Saturn energy, right? They can be very, very cold because she would turn off all that softness in an instant. They can get very cold and they can ignore you like nobody's business. Them, Taurus and Scorpio, they will ignore you like nobody's business. You would think that you don't exist. And we have 8 of Wands in reverse. I think this person may have tried to move on from you and this connection, right? Maybe they decided, you know what, they didn't want to settle down or whatever. But no matter where they go or how far they roamed, you were always on their mind. You couldn't get rid of you. You were always on their mind. And they see you guys as very different, huh? And whether they show it to you or not, this is a very emotional person. They have a lot of deep emotions, intense emotions inside. And they see you as very calm, cool, very grounded, right? Unless you show your emotions, you decide to show your emotions to this person, they're probably not going to know because you're pretty good at wearing that little mask and giving them the blank face. Because as far as Capricorn is concerned, their emotions are for their loved ones and their friends. They're not giving it to the enemy. You will never know. what they are thinking or feeling. They're not giving you that. So maybe in the past your person thought that you guys were just so different. So different. Couldn't see how you guys would come together. Couldn't see how you guys would come together. But now they see that this is actually complementary. You know? You guys are the tide. Where is it? What's the energy underneath the deck? You guys are the tide. The water breaking upon the shore. Oops. You know? Yeah. You guys are the beachfronts, the coast. Very complimentary indeed. So it's a reevaluating of the way that they look at relationships and what relationships should be. Because a lot of people think, you have to have the same values, like the same things, have the same hobbies in order to be compatible. But no, sometimes compatibility is about people that kind of stretch your awareness and your perception of things and allow you to grow. And that's what they're seeing here. That's what they're seeing here. All right. Let us look at their heart space energy for you. Because we're meant to evolve through our relationships. If you're not growing or you're not evolving because of your relationship, in your relationship, then maybe you've just reached a plateau and it's time for something new. Maybe you've grown out of it. And people do grow out of each other, you know. We have aggressive. What's that about? And strong. Okay, let's see. All right, when your person thinks about you and they think about this connection, heart space energy is saying what? Well, they have hope, right? Hope burns eternal, and they're kind of optimistic about getting back in your good books, and coming back around again. They're optimistic about that. What else? We have painful. Okay. All right. So it feels like they may be hurt, or they may be nostalgic, and maybe there's a lot of painful memories that are resurfacing from them, whether it's the ways that they've hurt you or the ways that you've hurt them, right? A lot is coming up, and that's why we see them here as the King of Cups, because they're very emotional at this time. They're trying to keep it in. They're trying to keep it in, but there's a lot of intensity that's brewing within them. We have shadow self. Okay, so maybe they recognize that they weren't operating their best selves when you guys were getting to know each other, when you guys were together, right? It looks like they were operating in their dark side. And we talk about, I know everybody has, their light and shadow, and the light and shadow has purpose, right? Sometimes it's a shadow that protects us in this world, right? But it feels like they thought that they were protecting themselves from you, but what they were really doing is hurting both of you guys in the process. They are preventing themselves from connecting deeply with someone, and maybe the ways that they asserted their boundaries were very painful to you. They are shocked. Well, we're going to see what they're shocked at. All right. Spirit, tell us about this hope card. We have the Four of Cups. Okay. So right now they have a headache, right? They are trying to figure out how do they break out of this monotony that is their life. How do they get to where they want to be, which is with you. And it feels like they might be getting some support from family members to break out of their rut right now, right? So they're family members that might be helping them, might be supporting them. I see this person leaning on a tree, and trees for me, always about ancestor energy, the family tree, right? So it feels like they might be getting some support to break out of this funk, and to motivate themselves to come towards you. So they might pop up. They might pop up and start some kind of flirtation. Here we see in the Page of Wands. And this is no like sexy flirtatious conversation, definitely. And they're gonna kind of, it's going to sound superficial, but it's really them testing the waters and seeing if you're still interested, because they really don't know. You switched up so much, they really don't know how you feel. And they are in pain. They never thought it would hurt so much. Look at them here, howling at the moon. Howling at the moon here. Recognizing that they were operating in their shadow side. Knight of Pentacles in reverse. And if there's one person that's inconsistent, is Mr. Knight of Pentacles in reverse. You can't count on him for nothing. He's as fickle as they come. In and out, in and out. And he has so much trust issues. So much trust issues. Everybody's out to get them. If there's one person that has a persecution complex in the tarot, it is Knight of Pentacles in reverse. Very unstable. And that's the energy that they were coming at the Queen of Pentacles upright with. So you got rid of them. Now they're shocked. Why are they shocked? Maybe because you stepped back. Three of Cups. Okay. They think that you have somebody else and they never thought that you would do that. Yep. They think there's a new emperor on the scene, and they feel very put out by that fact. Very put out. Okay. If there's anything that they could tell you right now, or if there's any message that they would want you to know, what would that message be? We have, I can't stop thinking about you. And remember we said that no matter how far they roamed, your energy was never far from them. What else do they want you to know? Whoa, whoa, whoa. You came closer than anyone. Yeah. You were a real threat to their heart, and they may have defended themselves quite harshly. Right? Right. So they never allow themselves to feel the fire of being in love. Never really allow themselves that, right? But they want you to know that you really got under their skin. I bury myself and work to forget you. Okay, so that could have been that Seven of Pentacles energy that we saw underneath the deck, right? So I think they're so bombarded by your energy. And I mean, and at the worst times, so bombarded by your energy that they might be working themselves to exhaustion just not to think about you, just not to feel your energy. I don't react when people mention you, okay? So there might be people in their life that may be trying to extract information about you from your person, or they might bring up your name to see how your person reacts, and your person's not giving them anything, right? Remember, Scorpio, King of Cups, doesn't say anything. You can't get anything out of him, but they feel a whole lot. I know I messed everything up, so I'm not going to demonize this person because it will be easy to do that. It really does take two, right? So I'm sure there must have been nonsense that you did as well. But this person is definitely acknowledging their side of the fence. And they know that they really screwed things up. And they're acknowledging that, right? They're acknowledging that right now. All right. I'm going to get some advice from Spirit. But what we're going to do in the extended, we're basically going to use the same format for the third party. What we'll also do, we're going to get a message. Let me get my little book here. We're going to get a message from one of your ancestors as to what your next move should be. And then we're going to look at your person's next move towards you within a month. I don't even know. Something just fell down. Within a month of you watching this reading. Okay. Let's see which ancestor is coming through. I have a family tree clearing thing here. Okay. So this chart here like shows different ancestors from your father and mother to up to great grandparent. So we're going to see who wants to come through and give you some guidance in the extended. Is it on your father's side or mother's side? This one is on your father's side. Okay. Spirit, tell us who it is, please. Your great grandfather on your father's side will be coming through to give you some guidance. Great grandfather on father's side. I have to remember that. Great grandfather on father's side. Okay, so in the meantime, if you're not joining me in the extended, let me get some advice from Spirit for you, okay? So Spirit, what is the advice for pile 3? And we have Beyond the Ego, Surrender to the Flow of Life. It's interesting that you would get this card because your person, this is what they're doing right now. So you guys are on parallel tracks. You may not recognize it, but you guys are on parallel tracks right now. And we have slow down to relax. Break to enjoy the beauty around you. So your person's been burying themselves in work, but Spirit letting you know that they see you and it looks like you've been burying yourself in work too. Okay? So right now, Spirit wants you to get some rest. If there's time off that you haven't taken, Spirit is saying, now is the time, but you can't burn yourself out. There are times when we feel weary, drained, and fatigued. Everything seems to be moving at its normal pace, yet our usual energy, drive, and motivation takes a bit of a dive. This is when our body and soul are telling us to slow down, take care, and not burn ourselves out. The time has arrived to sit back, relax, and focus on foreseeing the future. Rumi carries a powerful message. Turn your focus inward and toward your spiritual development. You are being called to slow down to see more of the beauty around you. Rumi wants you to realize, if you haven't already, that the power is within you and you can create anything you wish. All the answers you've been looking for are revealing themselves to you now. But first, you must make the time to connect with the inner source of your divine power. By quieting your mind, not only will you be able to see things more clearly and less reactively, but the spaces in your mind may bring forth some amazing insights. Whether it is a past life pattern or something you have learned, it is time to set yourself free, so you may live more creatively and step into your true power. And the mantra here is, I am determined to fill more of my time with peace and to relax for as long as I need to renew. So Spirit saying, right now, the best thing you can do for yourself is take some time out to enjoy yourself, to relax, to pamper yourself, take care of yourself. That's the best thing you can do right now. Okay? All right, my love. So that was your reading. I hope that was helpful. Take care. Bye.